In this video, we're going to create a table in Power BI Desktop using some data we've already imported in. It's worth watching this whole Power BI series from the start so you know what dataset we're using and where to get it from. So you can check that out in the description below for more details. Now here we've already got our dataset called pupils, which you can see over here, and I want to start displaying the data into a table. So there's a couple of different options. I can start clicking on fields like this, and it will automatically put it into a visualization for me. So you can see this visualization is being created over here. It's whirring away. Now as it happens, if I just close this filters pane down so it all becomes a bit bigger, as it happens it's chosen a table for me to start with, but if it hadn't and you wanted a table, you can just come over here to the visualization section. So it might have created a graph for me, but we want a table, so you just click on table and it will switch it over. So I can add the fields by clicking on them, so we've got these, or I can drag a field over to our values section and it will add it that way. So it's really whatever you prefer. So the other option is if I get rid of this, I'm just going to delete it now, I can start by selecting my table like this, and again exactly the same thing. I can either click on the fields here or I can bring something over and drag it over like that. So you can obviously rearrange the order of the fields by dragging them around. So I may want things in a different order, and that is how you create a table. Now by default the table will auto group, so you can see that if I added the ID in, it will try to summarize it for me. So it's actually done kind of what I wanted it to do, which is it's automatically shown the ID and counted it for me, so I can see how many girls I've got in my class and how many boys. The birth year is not that relevant, but if I just wanted to see the raw data, I can click on this drop down here and then say don't summarise. So this is going to give me what I have really in my raw data, which is the ID of the child, which I can sort by here. It's given me the gender, the birth year, and I can obviously add in all of these other fields. So what I might want to do is to go back to what I had before, which is actually just to start scoping out the split of gender or another kind of grouping, perhaps birth month. So if I get rid of the ID, well, I'll move the ID here and just bring in birth year. And I'm going to now count this, which is what it was very clever and it did it for me to start with. It's also a little bit small, so I'm going to go to the formatting and I'm going to have a look at the values just so we can see them a bit better. And I can change the font size here, so that's a bit more like it. And let's go down to the, or go up, the column headers as well. I might want to change that. So it's all a bit easier to see. So now I can see what the split of male and female is in the class of data. So really, this is how easy it is to create a table in Power BI Desktop. And if you want to keep up to date with the rest of this series on Power BI, then click on subscribe and hit the bell icon for notifications.